Hi, my name is Cindi Meyersohn. Some of you know me. I am with DataRebels, and I am happy to introduce Dan Linstedt.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Dan is going to be and as you guys know, probably the inventor and creator of the Data Vault 2 solution. Dan will be joining me in Helsinki along with Scott Ambler for the new CDVP 2.1 class we're launching. We're extremely excited about that. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that in this video. Uh, and we're going to address something in this video that we've been asked on several occasions. And it has to do with, you know, this idea that Data Vault is a difficult thing perhaps to implement. And so uh, if you're looking for an effective architecture, which is what people have asked for, and you want to consider data warehousing and you want to look at a Data Vault project, sometimes it gets a label as a mega project, Dan. And so and that you're not really delivering anything before 6 months time, which to me is surprising because that's exactly what Data Vault is basically implemented to avoid. I'm going to say as part of its foundation. So, can you talk about this idea, what the class is going to do regarding how to show teams how to accelerate delivery so that this 6 month sort of mega project is really, I'm going to say it's a fallacy. So, can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, if you've heard that or read it, it may be because I've talked an awful lot over the years about my experience at Lockheed Martin, which took about 6 months. But I had a team of 3 people doing the work of about 10, and we had 5,000 different operational reports to produce, and we had over 125 source systems to ingest. So put some perspective around it, folks. I had one DBA, one mainframe person, and one data warehouse person, me. So just think about that for a second, right? Of course, it took 3 months to get out in the alpha stage. We did deliver in 3 months the first working BI set of reports, but it took another 3 months to get to production, all the rest of that stuff that I was talking about. So that's the first thing. So if you've read that information, don't automatically assume that in today's day and age, that was 1997, right? In 2000. Today, it's way different. We're 24 years later now, and it's way different. It's not a 6 month project. It shouldn't be. If you've got a consultancy that's working on that, and for whatever reason this is where they've ended up, give us a call because we can help you and the consultancy or your internal folks get past that hurdle. What we like to do is say, let's first get your team delivering onto 2 week sprint cycles, right? How do we work with thin slices, which is what Scott Ambler calls it. Now, in Scott's class, he talks about vertical slicing, and that's because he has his architecture vertically labeled with consumers on the top. And in our class, we call it horizontal slicing because we lay the architecture on the side and read from left to right, or source systems to consumers on the right-hand side. So they're both the same thing. It's just thin slices all the way through. And in fact, we do one better. We like to take your team and say, okay, now that you've got the 2 week mastered, the 2 week delivery system mastered, let's get you down to 1 day sprints. But this is the crux of what we teach in 2.1 in the new course. We talk about how to start off with 1 day sprints so that you're not even working at a 2 week sprint cycle right from the get-go, right? We now talk about ontologies and taxonomies and mastering the use cases and getting the use case and the user stories down to a point where you can turn that into working requirements or working implementation inside of a single day. Now, when I say 1 day sprint, I mean within development, okay? All the way to the BI dashboard, but in development with development data. I am not talking about all the time it takes to do QA and data quality and master data and all of those things. Those are important. Don't get me wrong, but they're separate sprint cycles. This is another mistake people make. They say, well, I have to do everything. I have to put it all in the data lake first, and then I have to wait, and I got to do all the QA and all the metadata and all the governance and all the policies and all of this and all of that before I put anything into the stage. And then I have to get it all into the stage, and then I do it all over again before I put it in the vault. And then I've got to do it all in the vault before I put it in the business side or put it out for consumption. Wrong, wrong, wrong. And this is the mistake that teams make. And we teach how not to do this, and instead take a thin slice of a small set of user requirements and deliver inside of 2 weeks, and if possible, deliver inside of 1 day, all the way to the BI tool, all the way to the business analyst desktop in the same day on development, using development data from user story to BI tool in the same day. That's an 8-hour workday with an hour for lunch. Yep, we do take lunch. Sometimes we'll work a little overtime to reach that 1 day, but it gets easier as you go forward. We talk about repeatability, and it's, again, this is a testament to the methodology that's in 2.1, but this is how we break that cycle. This is how we break down those walls. It should never be a 6-month delivery. That's a monstrosity. It should never be, I'm going to wait 6 months before I see any outcome. It shouldn't be that complex. It really is a lot easier than people perceive. And again, it isn't by any fault of their own. It just may be that they have a knowledge block or a misunderstanding, or they're not quite sure how to proceed the right way. So some minor course corrections gets your team marching quickly. And we've got some ways to do with that. Cindi, you want to talk a little bit about what Scott Ambler is bringing to the table when we're going to talk about discipline agile delivery in Finland?
Yeah, I'd love to. So the CDVP 2.1 class is a 4-day class. It will start on September 16th. And as typical with my classes in the last few years, even the ones that I've brought to Finland as well, day 4 is the workshop, right? So it's sort of the pièce de résistance, right? It's the capstone, if you will, and that's where we're going to take even the exercises that we're working in the core class itself on day 1 through 3. Those exercises are going to culminate in the capstone. Scott is going to be he's going to be co-leading and coaching. Dan and I are going to be leading the class because it's part of the CDVP2 class, but Scott is going to be working with the teams that we break out into, so that he's going to be helping them move forward. We're going to look for areas where perhaps a team is stuck on something. And so he's going to be coaching the entire class through the workshop, which is brand new, and we're really excited to have that. On top of that, we're addressing, while we're here, Scott is holding his own class on Friday the 20th, which is designed for Agile Data Warehouse Leadership. That's the title of the course, because the team can do the technical piece, but if leadership doesn't know how to lead and interact and collaborate with the Agile team, how to remove hurdles out of their path, right? So this is a collaboration between business, right, and the tech teams, and they need to know how to do that. And so that leadership is to help the management side of, in fact, primarily focus on the health and wellness areas, understand how to help their teams actually accelerate so that we aren't looking at 6 months, because perhaps the bottleneck is an understanding of the requirements or the use case that needs to be cleared up. We want to make sure the teams know how to work together and how management can help them succeed. So we're excited about that. Yeah.
I just want to add on one more thing. We talk about teams, we talk about collaboration. I want to bring up community for just a second.
Sure.
I'm really excited because we've been looking hard at the learning experience and what Data Vault Alliance tries to do to support the community. Admittedly, we haven't done a great job. We've done some, but we're refactoring the entire community experience as we speak. And we're hoping to get community first, not just discussion forums, but active Q&As and active webinars for everyone around the world going forward in this community sense. And I'm really excited about it. We're thinking about calling it Data Vault University, but we're just not sure yet. So stay tuned.
Thanks, Dan. And so we are looking forward to seeing you all in Helsinki. At least sign up and register for the meet and greet on Wednesday the 18th. We would love to see you. If you've been a past student, I'd love to see you again. And Dan would love to meet all of you. I always talk my Helsinki class up. So anyway, look forward to seeing you in Helsinki the week of the 16th of September.
Absolutely. Love to see you
Okay.
there. Take care.
Thanks, Dan.